transitioning over to a raw vegan diet. Let's chat about that today in this live. I'm here to hang out with you today, just me and you. So if you have any questions, please post in the chat. And if you haven't gotten the Ultimate Vegan Health Bundle yet, please go check it out. The link is in my bio. We're going to be talking about transitioning to a raw vegan diet. So again, I'm here with you guys. If you want to ask any questions, I would love to answer them about transitioning over to a raw diet. So the reason I want to talk about this, because I just released my fully revised raw vegan transition guide in the vegan bundle, which you can get in the link in my bio or in the description or wherever. That transition guide I wrote the original one just over 7.5 years ago, and I've learned a lot since then. So I wanted to revise it and move around with the new science, right? Because it's good to evolve with what we learn. So I wrote this ebook to add to the bundle, but also to help you guys to transition over slower, because not everyone can do it overnight. I did it overnight, but I also had 10 years of trial and error before that. So it wasn't like an overnight thing. I was just like, I'm going to go raw, but I already had experience with it and I tried different ways and stuff like that. So when I went raw, yes, I did it overnight, but I also had 10 years of trial and error. So for this ebook, I talk about the slower transition step by step on how to do it. I've got some questions already coming in. Thank you guys. So today's topic is transitioning to raw. I've been waiting to go raw for a few years, and what I want to say to that is just start by adding more raw to your day. You do not have to go all raw overnight. The goal is add more. So every single day you get a little bit better. You add a little bit more raw. So start off with your morning smoothies. Start lowering your fat intake. Start by going vegan. Start by going whole food plant-based. Start lowering the salt. And every day you're gonna make different choices and try out new recipes. Try some new raw recipes. If you're just going vegan, if that's your first step, try adding more vegan meals, like cooked vegan meals, and then try adding more raw to it as well. So just start. That's the thing. People are like, how do I start doing a raw diet? Just start eating more raw food. A lot of us already do eat raw food, like an apple is considered raw food. So many of us already do eat raw food. It's more about increasing it and adding more as we go, instead of trying to fit into a box and force ourselves into raw because we want to be perfect. And there's just, it's way too hard, especially if you come from a past of a low fiber diet. Maybe your gut's not adjusted to it, and your gut microbiome is going to dictate how much raw you can do at any given time as you grow it. So you can start slow. That's why I think starting slow is a really great thing, because even though we might want to be all raw, that's the goal. But in the beginning, you have to work with your gut, not against it. If you're overloading your gut with way too much fiber, it's gonna be like, whoa, 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 hold on. I can't digest all of this right now. I need more workers, right? We need to build our microbiome. And the only way to build our microbiome is to slowly, gradually increase our fiber amount and fiber variety. So that starts slow. You can't expect your gut to catch up to 90 grams of fiber if you normally only eat 5 grams of fiber or 10 grams of fiber a day. So you have to start slow and start increasing slowly. So just start. That's my number one tip, is to just start. Van the Man saying the raw vegan lifestyle is the way to do it. We could all use support on how to eat more raw in our day. And by support, what would you like? I'm always here to support you guys. If you ever want to send a DM to me, ask me questions, I'm here to support you, because I didn't have that support when I first started. I didn't have somebody that I could bounce ideas off of or share struggles with. I'm here to help you. That's what I do. That's my job. That's why I'm here. And that's why we have the bundle, because the bundle helps me to be able to do this, to spend hours in the DMs without charging anybody, because I want to help people, but the bundle helps us to pay rent and all that kind of stuff. So that's very helpful if you get the bundle. But not only are you helping us, but you're helping yourself, because you're getting thousands of recipes and hundreds of hours of video content and how to do yoga teacher training. Like there's a yoga teacher training class in the bundle too. So if you want to support us and yourself, grab the bundle. It's only $49 and it's only here until Sunday night. So you've got 2.5 days from this live to get the bundle. The link is in my bio or in the description. So yeah, I'm here to help support you guys. If you feel you want, message me here on Instagram. That's the best place to get a hold of me. If you have a struggle or you just want to bounce some ideas off me, or if you need someone to listen to you, because we don't get heard very much these days, especially as vegans or raw vegans. Sometimes it's hard to find the community. So I am here for you if you need the support. Toby Pease is asking, is the bundle's different from year-end bundle? Yes, every single bundle that I'm in is different. So the year-end bundle was the plant-based bundle. That's a different bundle. This is the vegan health bundle, vegan health and weight loss bundle. So this is a very different collection of stuff. I have different things in this bundle, including my new fully revised raw vegan transition guide, which you can only get right now in the bundle. After the bundle's over, it'll go in my e-store, but right now you can only get it in the bundle if you buy the bundle. But a lot of people made brand new stuff for this bundle. So they've contributed brand new things. So no one has those for sure. My raw vegan transition guide, again, as I said, is fully revised. So the old version I wrote like I said, like 7.5 years ago or so. That was only 65 pages. This new one is 300 pages of content. I tried to put absolutely everything that you could possibly think of to go raw in there. And I answer like common myths, my opinions on the common myths for raw vegan. There is like how to improve your sleep, your hydration, there's exercise, there's other things that have nothing to do with diet, but do help to improve your life and work on building the axle of health with sleep and the spokes for the wheel of health, right? We need all the spokes to be equal, not just heavily into diet, but working on other aspects of health, like exercise and spending time in nature and meditating, that kind of thing, gratitude. There's all different kinds. There's 52 steps in my 52 to a New You ebook, which again is in the bundle. So yeah, the bundle is definitely different than the last one, and it will be different next year as well. So the vegan health bundle only runs once a year. So does the raw bundle. The raw bundle is still coming. That one is later spring, but that one will be completely different than the last one. The raw bundle is exclusively all brand new content. So that one's coming, but we only do that one once a year too. So if you do see a bundle, go check it out. Even if you've already bought past bundles, you never know if there's some stuff in a bundle that you might like. Because if you go to the website, link in my bio or in the description, scroll through. You never know. There's actually, Dr. Shiraz has a 40-day transformation thing that I just signed up for, and you get a course every single day for 40 days. That's valued at $500. Like if you bought it from his website, it would be $500, but you're getting it in the bundle for only $49, along with 6 of my contributions, Nate's Microgreens course. Like there's so much gold in there. When you go to the website, you get everything on the website for $49, but only until Sunday night. So if you want it, go grab it. We've got here, I saw the bundle, was hoping there would be more raw recipe books. Like I said, the raw bundle's coming in the end of spring-ish, in around there. So if you're looking for more raw stuff, head over there. But this bundle actually does have a lot of raw stuff in it. I mean, you're getting 6 of my ebooks. You're getting one of those, or ebooks, I mean like contributions. So I've got my Checkmate Your Cravings video course. I've got the brand new raw vegan transition guide with 47 recipes in it. I've got food journaling for success, how to build variety salads and epic dressings, Make It Raw, which I wrote with Chef AJ, where we took her recipes and made them raw. You've got Meal Plan Volume 2 in there as well, and I think there's more, but I can't think of them right now. There's 6 from me, and then Nate's Microgreens course. So that alone, all of our stuff alone is worth $297 retail. So it's a really great deal if you wanted to grab our stuff. Chris Kendall's in there. Daniel, Enzyme 333, he's got his like raw vegan corn dogs in there. Vegan Fruity Flowers in there. Fruity Eva's in there. Olivia Herzog's in there. There's a lot of raw. Matt Bennett is in there as well. So there is a lot of raw stuff in there. Definitely worth it if you're looking to add those ebooks to the bundle, because they won't be in the raw bundle. The raw bundle, again, like I said, is going to be brand new, never before released products. So if you do like the raw stuff that's in this bundle, this is the time to get it, because they won't be in the other one. So it's definitely worth it if you're looking. How to do raw budget friendly? Great question. That's a good question. I address this again in my transition guide. So if you do get the bundle, grab the transition guide, download that and start reading it. But here I want to share some raw budget tips. So number one, I would say, is to shop more often. And the reason I say that is because most of us like to buy more than we think we need. And we're like, oh, well, I'll probably eat this big giant bag of apples, when really we probably will only eat 3, right? So instead of buying a big giant bag of apples, even though you might save a little money, you're probably going to end up not eating as many unless you know you're going to eat as many. Only buy the amount that you know you're going to eat, because a lot of food waste happens. I think food waste is like 40% of the food that we buy is thrown away because we don't eat it. So we need to focus on what we need for the next 3 days or so and go shopping more often and only buy what we know we're gonna eat instead of what we think we're gonna eat. Another thing that is really helpful is to shop seasonally. So there's certain things that are way less money in season and they're way more money when they're out of season. So tailoring your lifestyle or your choices based on what is in season will help a lot. Like, for example, when cucumbers are in season, Nate and I eat a lot more cucumbers. When cauliflower is in season, we eat a lot more cauliflower. Another tip is to buy more of those things that are in season, that, or when you find a sale on something, buy extra of it and maybe freeze it. Yes, frozen and thawed counts as raw. So if you find a case of cauliflower for like $20 or whatever, get the case, chop it up and freeze it, and then you can use it over the next couple of months. Or like in the summertime, if you go to a berry picking farm or you find blueberries for cheap, buy extra, because then you can have those in the winter months when they are more expensive. So thinking ahead and stocking up on some of that can really help as well. Shopping around is another great tip for saving money, because if we're always going to the same store and we're not really experiencing the sales from other stores, we might be missing out on some amazing deals. Like, for example, in Vegas here, we can get at this one store, it's called La Bonita. In the summertime, we can get 6 Atalfo mangoes for $1. It's amazing. I'm like mind blown that we can do that. But that's the only store in Vegas that has them for that price. Everywhere else, they're like $2, $3 each. So for some reason, La Bonita has a connection with a mango farm and they get truckloads of it. But the only way we knew that was because we explored new different stores. We also know where to get the cheapest cabbage, which is the Asian market, 99 Ranch. They have cheap cabbage. We also know where to get the best lettuce or the best tomatoes, the cheapest tomatoes. And we have certain stores that we go to that have the cheapest. Another thing that saves us a lot of money is not buying all organic. And I know some people might feel a little, I don't know what the word would be, but like defensive over organics. But if it means eating fresh food, I would much rather see someone eat conventional foods than to struggle financially or calorically to try and get all of their calories from organic foods. So for example, like if I was to purchase only organic foods, it would cost 2 to 3 times more money, which we don't want to spend that much money on our food. I know some people do, and that's totally cool, but I'm talking like more budget friendly stuff, right? I would rather get the variety and the calories from the conventional food than to struggle trying to get it all organically. Plus, organics are more limited, that kind of thing. And we do eat organic, like I'm not saying we don't, and I'm not dissing organic at all. I'm just saying if you need to save money, then try getting more conventional stuff. Unless it really irritates you for some reason, then obviously opt for organic or do the clean 15 dirty dozen thing or whatever. But that can save a lot of money as well, because when I was in Canada, there was no way I would be able to afford the amount of calories that I needed to eat on raw food, all organic. Like one little tiny container of cherry tomatoes was like $7, whereas I could get 3 times the amount for $5 at Superstore instead of shopping at the organic store. So you have to really like work with your budget, with what you have. Buying seasonally, buying in bulk also is a good thing. If you have, for example, we are close to LA, and in LA, it's such a big city that they have these produce districts where they have produce wholesales, and many cities do have them. So you can go look around in your city, do some deep searching, and see where restaurants and chefs are buying their produce for their restaurant. Because most people, just like you and I, can go to these places and buy the produce as well. Nate and I get some amazing deals in LA when we go with John Kohler. We get cases of strawberries for $5. We got a case of jicama for $5. We got cases of yellow dragon fruit for $5. Yes, they were kind of turning and they were on their way out, but we still got them. We were able to freeze dry a lot of the stuff that we had. You could dehydrate a lot. Like one time we got this entire massive, big, giant case of organic bell peppers for $8. They were heirloom bell peppers, and there was this massive, massive box of them. And we just chopped them up into little pieces and dehydrated them until they were hard. And we have those in the cupboard, and we just add those to dressings. For example, when it calls for bell pepper, we'll just add those to marinaras or dressings. So it's really nice to be able to buy in bulk if you're able to. Again, that's another thing. You really have to work with where you're at and what you have and what location you are to be able to make that work. Yeah, I'm addicted to unhealthy food. The thing is, I don't like using the word addiction when it comes to food, because food is fuel and we need food. The thing is like, why are you choosing those specific foods? What is it about your day that is causing you to want those foods? What is it about your emotions that is causing you to want those foods? Instead of labeling them as bad, instead start going inward and asking yourself why you are having those cravings. Maybe for the most part, it's because you're hungry and you have to eat. So choosing something better or different, I would say is a better word, to fuel your body. So when you have a craving, look back and say, why am I having this craving? Obviously, I'm hungry. So honoring your hunger and fueling your body up with something that is going to be beneficial to you is a good practice to start practicing. Remember that it's called a yoga practice because it's not a yoga perfect. We don't just go into yoga one day and all of a sudden we have a perfect practice. A yoga practice is just an ongoing, constant practice. And that's what healthy eating is as well. Anything in life. It's just constantly choosing what makes the most sense for us and what is the most logical for our bodies. Obviously, we want to choose tasty food, but we have to really learn how to fuel our bodies properly. Let's see what else we got here. Thanks, you guys, for joining. This is going to be really fun. I do have questions. I'm the only one in my house who eats vegan. My husband and children do not. Sometimes sticking with it is hard. Definitely a challenge when other people aren't vegan with you. But the thing is, because I've lived with people who weren't vegan as well. My ex ate lots of junk food, drank alcohol, all kinds of stuff. So I remained raw and vegan because what it boils down to is my choice. It's my choice. Whatever anyone else does around me, of course I'd love for other people to choose different things for their lives, but I have to choose what works for me and what resonates with my ethics and stand up for my ethics, right? Like giving into it also teaches the people around you that you're not serious about your choices. So if you stand strong and you say no every single time, they're going to be like, wow, they're serious about their choices. They're serious about what they really want for their life, and they're serious about their ethics. So making that connection and really doing it to be an example for one, and doing it because that's what you want to do, right? It's your life. I know you have family that eat differently, but it ultimately is your body. You're the one that's putting the food in, and you're the one who has to fuel all the things that you feel after you eat whatever. So you have to choose what resonates with you. And that's why I love the bundle too, because there's a lot of cooked vegan stuff for those who have family who might not be even vegan. Because I mean, we eat vegan, like I said, like an apple is vegan, right? And it's not like non-vegans don't eat plant food, right? So it's like finding those recipes that they enjoy that may not have the meat in it, right? So hopefully that helps. My only raw vegan meal is smoothie in the morning for breakfast. All right, so if you're starting there, I would recommend moving up into lunch and start doing a big salad for lunch. Maybe if you still have some cooked food, like if you do like rice or quinoa, or maybe you're having a sandwich or whatever, have something raw with your other stuff and start there and start doing that for a week or two, and then move over to just raw for lunch and still have your cooked dinner. Don't worry about going all in all at once. Do it slowly. Start slowly. Start adding more raw with your food. Like if you're making a stir fry, for example, do the stir fry and then add some raw after. You could put it on a bed of, I mean, obviously it would be hot, so it might not be the greatest, but you could put it on a bed of lettuce, or chard, for example, would probably be a good option. Just put it over top of some more raw food, or add raw food to it, like add some raw chopped broccoli to your stir fry, add some raw fresh peas to your stir fry, add some raw chopped onion to your stir fry, or whatever you want to add more raw to whatever you make that's cooked. That way you can slowly start to incorporate more raw, and kind of think of it like crowd out the cooked food. Like don't be like scared of the cooked food, or like, oh no, like I can't eat the cooked food, it's bad. Focus on the raw and just slowly build up until maybe one day you don't eat any of the cooked food and you prefer to have the raw. So that's what I would suggest for that one. Can you come kick my arse? When I have those weak moments, I almost give in. Really, it's about taking a step back. Again, I'm here if you want to message me. I might not be online at the same time that you message me, but you can always send me a message and be like, I don't know what to do, because I'm here as a friend. I really want to be a friend to you guys and help you when you have issues. That's why I'm here. I really want to help. So taking a step back and asking yourself why you want this thing. What is this thing going to fulfill? Like, are you going to make your family accept you, or is it because you want to feel accepted, or you want to feel loved, or you just want the taste? Maybe you didn't eat all day and now you're really hungry, so it's hard to give in. That's when you would be like, oh, that's why I have the craving, is because I'm hungry, so I need to make a raw salad. Also, another thing is too, we're reward driven creatures. We choose based on the reward. So you've got a pizza and a salad. There is a reward for the pizza, which is dopamine. It tastes good, it's convenient, maybe your friends and family are eating it and you feel accepted. There's like different rewards that come with choosing the pizza. But there's also rewards that come from choosing a salad. So instead of focusing on the negative stuff that you feel from choosing the pizza, focus on the positive stuff that you'll feel from having a salad, or making a smoothie, or having a bowl of fruit or something. Focus on those feelings. Like when I do coaching one-on-one, I like to ask people, name 5 things that you feel about yourself that happen when you choose a salad. So, or you have a really good day of, you eat really well and you have lots of energy, you did your workout. Like, how do you feel about yourself? 5 words. And most people can only come up with 2 or 3. They have a hard time finding 5. But the thing is, you want to find, and you want to dig deep and ask yourself, what do I feel when I do those things? What do I feel when I go to bed early? I feel proud of myself. I feel empowered. I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel light. I feel happy. Like, there's so many things that you might feel, and that is the reward. So when you are having a craving, you can be like, well, I could have the pizza and get the dopamine and have the connection or whatever, but I could also choose the salad and I could feel empowered. I could feel proud of myself. I could feel like I'm on track, and I want those things. So that's more like, we're more likely to gravitate over to the reward that we want more, because there's 2 rewards. It's just, which reward do you want more? Right? Instead of labeling things as good or bad or getting guilty over it or whatever, choose what makes the most logical sense that puts you on the path that you want to go on. Raw zucchini is so nice. Awesome. Good advice. Already 98% raw. Awesome. Choose raw because I was still eating too much junk food. Yeah, raw is a great way to start getting rid of the junk food, like filling your stomach up with hydration from the raw food, and the high fiber can really help to satiate so that you aren't eating as much of the raw junk. I'm actually going raw today. Nice, Team Broccoli. Awesome. That's awesome that you are going to be going raw. Congratulations on adding more raw to your diet. And to everybody who's adding more raw, whether you're all raw or you're just adding more raw, you're doing something good for your body. So keep it up and keep adding more. More support on how to get enough of the right type of food so we're not getting overly hungry on raw. That's a great question. The problem, one of the biggest problems that people have when they go raw is that they are not eating enough. So we need to eat more, and that's why I recommend tracking with like something like Chronometer. And it's not meant to be an obsession. It's not meant to be something that you get all like freak out over, like all the little details and stuff. It's meant to be a learning tool so that you learn what a salad looks like that will satiate you. You learn what 2,000 calories or 2,400 calories looks like on a raw diet, because it's going to look very different than a cooked food diet, because cooked food is calorie dense. So there's more calories in a smaller amount, whereas with raw food, there's less calories in a large volume of food. We have to eat more of it in order to get enough calories. So using something like Chronometer can help you learn what 2,000 calories of raw food looks like, how much you actually have to eat. Another thing that we need to really focus on is, in order to get a wide range of nutrition and to get enough nutrition, we have to eat more variety. So adding more variety like greens and sprouts and root vegetables, you can eat them raw, like beets or carrots or sunchokes. You can add those grated into your salad, but adding more different varieties instead of putting everything into spinach. Like spinach, every day you're having spinach, that you're missing out on all the other things that all the other greens have to offer. So adding like a handful of spinach with a handful of dandelion and a handful of radicchio and a handful of endive and a handful of, or 3 of romaine, and maybe some whatever else lettuce that you have. Adding more variety is going to give you a wider range of nutrition, and plus also adding more volume is really important. Logan got the bundle. Yes, I hope you enjoy. Again, you guys, the bundle ends on Sunday, so if you want it, you've got like 2 days and a bit to get it. So the link is in my bio, in the description, or wherever. If you want, I can send you a DM as well. If you send me a DM, I can send you the link. But congrats. I hope you enjoy all the cool content in the bundle, and my 300-page raw vegan transition guide to help you add more raw and change your habits. There's also 47 recipes in there. That is in the bundle, along with 5 other things from me and my husband's microgreens course. So that's great. It's awesome. I hope you enjoy everything. I don't want to fall off and go back to junk food, vegan food. So if you don't want to fall off, then make sure that you fuel your body. Fuel up on whole food, because the thing is it's a lot easier to say no to the vegan junk when you have a full stomach. When you are full, it's so much easier to think properly and to say no, and to be like, no, this is how I love how I feel. I don't want to have the junk food. But the problem is, when we go too long without eating, when we skip meals, when we portion control, when we forget to eat, that's when the cravings come in, because all it is your body saying, hey, I need some fuel. And the craving is a default reaction to hunger, which is completely natural. We need to honor our hunger and feed our body. But the craving is a reflection of our habits. So whatever we habitually eat when we're hungry, we're going to typically crave that, because that's just a symptom of hunger. So when you have a craving, you think, why do I have a craving? Oh, because I'm hungry. I need to go and make a salad or make a smoothie. And that's going to be one of the best tips that I can give about staying on the path, is making sure that you stay full. Is there going to be a raw bundle with recipe books? Yes, there will be a raw bundle coming in the spring, but it will be totally different than the stuff that's in this bundle. So if you do like the raw content in this bundle, this is your chance to get it until Sunday night. I'm not going to have the same things in that bundle as is in this bundle. So it will be totally different, and it will be all new. So if you like I said, if you like these ones, go grab it now with my 300-page raw vegan transition guide. Jessica said, I bought one from 2021, so the new bundle has more. Yeah, the new bundle has totally different stuff in it. So it is totally different, so much more content. And it's good to always be looking for new content and re-inspiring yourself and learning more from others. And that's why we like to do the bundles, because it pushes us creators to create new content for you so that we can re-inspire you or move with the times. Like if we learn new things, we can make new content to help you stay on track and learn new stuff. So that's why the bundles are so good. Every year, we're constantly creating new content for you. So the bundles, every time there's a new bundle, go check it out because you might find some stuff that you like in there. Also, do you offer coaching? I do offer coaching. It's 125 USD an hour, and we do it on Zoom, and we can talk about anything that you want to about raw food. Normally, we go through struggles, like what do you find to be the biggest struggle with staying raw or adding more raw or going vegan or whatever it is. We normally brainstorm and discuss ways to make it work for your life and what you can do to make different choices. So that's what we do in the coaching calls. But yes, I do offer the coaching calls, but I don't book out for like 3 weeks because I always have 3 to 4 weeks like totally booked. So if you do want to do coaching, you can send me a DM and I can send you the link for that. When's the raw bundle coming? Again, that one's spring. I'm not allowed to say the date yet, but that's coming. And the current bundle, is it SOS free, salt, oil, and sugar free? Yes. There are like a few random recipes here or there. We saw like 1 or 2 out of the 2,500 or 3,000 recipes that are in there that might have something like 2 teaspoons of oil, but you can skip that. Just don't put it in or use tahini instead. But it's super rare that like we couldn't read through all 2,500 recipes to get them like perfect, but it is basically SOS free. So anything that you make in there is going to be pretty much good to go. If you do find the random recipe here or there, like I said, there's only like 2 or 3 that we know of that have like 2 teaspoons of olive oil or whatever. But again, you can skip that or just use tahini, whole food source instead. But yeah, it is SOS free, this bundle here. Nicole says, so many raw recipes. Was just looking through Matt Bennett's book. So many choices with everyone's stuff. Oh, everyone's set for life. Yeah. So raw intuition. Matt Bennett has his 21-day raw transformation in this bundle. So if you want more raw stuff, there is more raw stuff in this bundle. I'm really happy with the amount in there. This bundle does end on Sunday. So again, click the link in my bio or in the description to go grab that bundle. Let's see what else we got. Also for recipe books in the bundle, does it require a dehydrator? Some do. Some do require a dehydrator, but most don't. You can make most or just salads or whatever. But some of the stuff in this bundle as well is cooked food. So you can make, if you're still eating the cooked food, it's SOS free. It's more on the whole food plant-based side. So if you're still doing that, you can cook that too. But you don't really need a dehydrator. I do have my meal plan volume 2, which has a couple of dehydrator recipes in it, but you can always skip those. There's 90 recipes in there. And in my transition guide, I think I might have like, out of the 47 recipes, maybe like 3 or 4 that you need a dehydrator for, like the soups, for example. But you don't even need a dehydrator to make those ones anyways. You can just thaw the ingredients and add them to your soup if you want. So you don't need a dehydrator, but it's nice. I like to use one for that too, but you don't necessarily need one. I was going to ask what's a good quality, affordable dehydrator. There are different types out there. I personally love our Excalibur. I've used cheap dehydrators in the past, the stackable ones. I went through 3 in a year because the fan would keep breaking. It would drip like crumbs into the bottom because the fan was on the bottom. I didn't like how there wasn't enough space with the stacking trays. So I bought an Excalibur and it's been so good for over 7 years. Haven't had one problem with it, and we use it multiple times a week to marinate veggies or whatever we want to do with it. But the trays pull out, so there's more space, so you can like stack like stuffed mushrooms, or you could put a bowl of soup in there to warm up, or whatever you want to do. The dehydrator is just a nice area to warm your food. And it's also nice to have the big one, because when we have people over for like Thanksgiving, like when we had John Kohler and my friend Jennifer over, we were able to have the space to make more raw food for them for that feast. So I like Excalibur. That's my personal favorite, but there are other brands that have pull-out trays and stuff. Like I know my friend Angelica, she's got another one. I think she has a link in her store. You could message her if you want to get the link to that one. But there's different ones. I would recommend one that has trays that pull out, that have a fan on the side. Those are my prerequisites for a dehydrator. I normally go to Costco to buy in bulk. That's a great place to get bulk. Oh, 99 Ranch, you have those in Dallas. That's awesome. Yeah, 99 Ranch is a really great place. Like the international markets, they have some amazing deals. Even when I was in Canada, the Italian market had some of the cheapest prices, and I had never gone in there before. One day I was like, I'm going to see what's in here. I was like, what? They have like the cheapest produce. So sometimes venturing out of your comfort zone is really helpful. If you have a wholesale produce market, if you have a wholesale produce market around you, definitely go for it. I prefer organic, but can't afford it all the time. Exactly. If you can't afford it, don't get too worked up over it. Obviously, we want to have the best food, but it's also important to eat enough and to be able to get that variety. So having like some of both and being able to eat raw and to eat enough on raw is really important too, not just putting everything heavily into the all organic thing. Jessica says, thank you for saying that on organic. I recently battled with that shopping. And yeah, that's the thing too. It's like mental health plays a big role in our health. And if we're super stressed out over like, oh my God, I can't get that organic, or like there's like this big bag of oranges for $5 and they're not organic, but you need some fruit, get the non-organic ones so that you have the oranges, so you're not defaulting back to say like a box of organic processed breakfast cereal or something like that, right? I'd rather see the people eat the whole food in their freshest form than to default back to the old stuff because they just didn't get enough calories. So it's really important to make sure that your mental health is on point too, and that you're not stressing out about those things. Just do what you can, do what makes sense, do what works within your budget, with your location, with where you live, with what season it is, because those are all factors that come into play when you are choosing that. Nicole says, just focus on the dirty dozen. Yep, that's a great one too. Fruits and vegetables in the States don't taste good. Well, you know, honestly, that's what I say about work with where you're at. They may not taste good, but it's better than eating processed stuff, right? Like, what are you going to eat instead? If you're not making your own food, like growing your own food, our friend John Kohler, I've had some of his stuff that he grows in his garden, and it's unbelievable. So if you can grow your own food, even in pots, if you can grow just some of it, or grow your own microgreens, at least you can have some food that you've grown yourself, where you can add minerals back to the soil, and you can actually treat the soil properly and grow properly so that you have good tasting stuff. Let's see what we got here. I know in my area there are wholesalers for restaurants, only for restaurants. Some places are only for restaurants, but like in LA, we don't have any problem just going in and grabbing whatever. Hey, if you have cash, they're willing to sell to you for the most part. So hopefully you can find something in your area. Produce in America doesn't taste as good as in Europe. I've been to Europe and I agree, but again, same thing. I've had stuff from John Kohler's garden that was better than anything that I had in Europe. But John also, we're in the desert. He's growing a garden in the desert, but it's how he treats the soil. So it's not necessarily where you live in the world, it's how the soil is treated. So if you can like treat the soil properly and care for the plants properly, that's when they're going to taste the best no matter where you live in the world. I asked at my local market for bulk discount on produce. I buy boxes of food from them at less than retail, but not quite wholesale. It works for me. That's great. Fully woven. Awesome. That's such a great thing. And yeah, like I said, we got to work with what we have where we're at. Ask produce guys if they can get you cases of stuff. And normally you're paying just a little bit more than wholesale. You're able to still get great stuff and you're not paying retail prices for it. Also, finding fruit that's kind of like on its way out, like we used to get a case of bananas for $5 at Food for Less in Oregon because Nate was chummy with the produce guy, and he would call every once in a while and be like, yo, you got some ripe banana boxes? And the dude would be like, yeah, I've got 3 or 4 or whatever. Do you want me to put some aside? So he would put it aside for Nate, and Nate would go and grab boxes for $5. 85 bananas for $5. But you just have to ask, because you never know unless you ask. Yes, they might say no, but they might also say yes. So ask around. Like you see cherries and tomatoes, which are summer fruits. Yes, cherries and tomatoes in the winter aren't that great. They're not. That's why you also want to buy seasonally, right? Do you keep low fat or not worried about it? I keep low fat. I strive to keep my calories, fat from calories, around 10% of my total calories, which for me, I eat around 2,400 calories a day, and that's around 26 to 27 to 28 grams of fat, to be roughly around 10%. So that's like a couple tablespoons of nuts in an evening dressing or half of an avocado. I still eat fats. I don't shy away from them because I know how valuable they are in the body. Actually, every single cell in your body has a cell wall made from fats. So we need to have fats in our diet, and having a little bit of the overts is totally fine. It's the excessive amount of fats that's really going to start causing issues like insulin resistance and stuff. So chia seeds, we do every day pretty much in our lunch dressing, and then we still do like cashews and almonds, and we rotate our fats out, and we don't really worry too much about it. But because we've been doing this for so long, we kind of have an idea of what 10% looks like, so we don't have to really track or be too like nitty gritty with it or whatever. But in the beginning, you do want to track to see what 10% looks like for an over 2,000 calorie day. So like if you're eating 2,200 calories, what does 10% fats look like? 10% fats on a 2,400 calorie day. I know the numbers for this one. So 2,400 calories divided by, or like 10% of that is 240 calories. 240 calories divided by 9, because there's 9 calories per gram of fat. So if you're eating 240 calories from fat, you divide that by 9, because there's 9 per gram. That gets you about 26, 27 grams of fat a day. So on a 2,400 calorie day, you're eating around 27 grams of fat. So then you can figure that out based from there, what you're eating. But that's why I like Chronometer, because you just enter everything in and it gives you a pie chart where it shows you how much fat percentage that you ate. And you'd be like, whoa, I actually had a little too much fat today. Maybe tomorrow I'll tone it down a little bit. So not to get too worked up about it, but just to be focused on constantly eating more produce. Because if you're eating way more fruit and way more greens and way more veggies and way more sprouts and all that other stuff, then you can still enjoy the fats, but you'll be having so much of the other stuff that it pushes the fat percentage down. So that's what I would say. Make sure that you're eating a lot of the other stuff, not just so much of the fats. Raw broccoli dipped in guacamole is best combo. That sounds so good. I went vegan overnight after watching Game Changers and Forks Over Knives. Recently, I've been feeling pulled towards going fully raw or high raw. My why is my health. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Jessica. Yeah, for me, I went vegan overnight as well. After watching, it was What the Health. No, I didn't watch that one yet. It was Game Changers. It was Forks Over Knives, Earthlings, and Cowspiracy. Those were the 3 that I watched back in 2014, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to be part of this. So I became vegan overnight, and I defaulted to raw because I had so much experience trying raw over and over and over and over again. And the reason I was not able to stay raw was because I was consuming too many fats and I was under eating. I really wasn't eating enough. I thought I was eating so much awesome stuff, but when looking back now, I'm like, I did not eat enough. And I was eating way too high fat. I was putting like an avocado with my smoothie in the morning. I was having handfuls of nuts for snacks. I was having a really high fat dressing. I was still eating oils. Like, I didn't understand the fat thing. Like, why would we eat low fat? So for 10 years, I tried it that way and I just could not sustain it until in 2014 when I went vegan. I was like, I'm going to try raw again, but like, why was I never able to stay raw? So I started watching like Fully Raw Christina, and I found Chris Kendall, and I started watching more stuff like Jack from Raw Tropical Living. Everyone was doing low fat, and I was like, okay, let's try the low fat way, because I had never tried it that way. And I also discovered that I needed to eat enough in order to get enough calories, because when you eat low fat, you got to eat way more of the other stuff, way more fruit, way more veggies. So I started doing that, and I found it so easy because I was actually fueling my body. I wasn't starving myself. I was eating variety, and I still was eating a small amount of fats, but just enough to satiate and to provide my body the omega-3s and all that. But I was eating so much of the other stuff that I was feeling amazing, and that's how I was able to stick to it. And it's been now 8.5 years raw. So pretty fun. I eat raw for breakfast and lunch. That's awesome. You're doing great. You're doing great. What else do we got here? You guys have any other questions? I'm just scrolling through to see what we have. What are your top tips on starting a raw vegan lifestyle, please? Top tips would be to just start. Start by adding more raw. Have smoothies for breakfast. Start swapping all your snacks out for fresh fruit. Add more raw to your lunch. Like if you have a sandwich, stuff it with more raw. Stuff it with as much raw as you possibly can, and then have a salad on the side. And then eventually, maybe you just have the salad and then start working on dinner. The whole goal is to add more raw. So that's where you want to start. And then you can get something like my Raw Vegan Transition Guide, which guides you through the step-by-step. I also have a How to Start Raw Vegan playlist on my YouTube channel. I think there's like 42 videos in there right now. If you want the link to that, send me a DM. I will send you the link to that playlist where I go through like all the things that I would think you would need to start a raw diet. So send that over. That's completely free. Obviously, it's on YouTube. So if you want to do that, you can totally. Or grab the bundle. The link is in my bio or in the description to get the bundle. And when you download the bundle, download my 52 to a New You ebook. It's a transition guide to go raw. So there's 52 steps on going raw and changing your habits. It's 300 pages and there's 47 recipes in there. So that is available in the bundle. Go grab that bundle if you want to do that. But otherwise, I do have a playlist. So if you want the link to that, I would love to send that to you as well. If there's so many creators, do you have different versions of raw vegan? How to choose which version? So we all do it differently because we all like different tastes, we all like different ideas, but in general, the general guideline is eat plants, eat enough of them, eat them whole, eat low fat, and be consistent with it. So whether that's all raw or high raw or whatever you want to do or however you want to do raw, just keep it low fat, eat whole, eat plants, eat enough, and it doesn't really matter which one you do. Take inspiration from everybody. That's why we're all really unique and we have something unique to share. And the bundle has a wide range of all different kinds of ways to eat a vegan diet, whether it's raw or cooked or spicy or not or whatever, right? There's smoothies in there. There's my meal plan. There's all kinds of different ways to eat raw. But remember, the goal is to eat plants, eat enough of them, eat low fat, eat variety, and be consistent. I think those are the 5 that I came up with. But it doesn't really matter what one person is doing. Take pieces from everybody and make it work for yourself, following just the main guidelines. Because everyone's going to have different ideas and different ways to eat. Without your mental health, you will never achieve the physical health. That's a really good quote. I like that because we do need the mental health. You can have the healthiest diet in the world, but if you're scared to eat other things and you're worried about not getting enough calcium or whatever, that's stress on your mental health, right? Obviously, we want to take action to make sure that we're getting better, but it's the intention behind it. Like, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you really enjoy learning and you really want to have that great food? Or are you doing it because you're scared of cooked food, or you're scared if you don't do it, you're never going to heal? Like, it's really like the state of your mind, which plays a big role. And I remember this one quote is like, you know what's healthier than kale? A healthy relationship with food. And so I really liked that quote because we know kale is healthy, obviously, but our relationship with food is extremely important. And a lot of can you hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me. at all, please message if you are able to hear me. Sometimes the audio cuts out, so please let me know. Somebody say yes in the chat if you can hear me. If you can still hear me, please say yes. Because yeah, I got a random call, and that was some, yes, okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go back here to the questions. Good evening from the UK. How are you all? We're all doing great. Hello from USA. UK here as well. We got some UK peeps in the house. That's awesome. Just got a case of brown bananas for $3, froze them and used them in smoothies. That's brilliant. That's awesome. Calories are a myth, unfortunately. Interesting concept. Calories are units of energy, so I'm not sure why that would be a myth, but we do still need to eat food, and we do still burn calories. We burn units of energy, so I don't think it's a myth. I think that it exists. We just have to learn about what we need to be eating in order to satiate and to provide our bodies with the energy that we need. How much fat average size avocado has? The average, I mean, it really depends on the type of avocado, but on average, I would say it's like around 25 grams of fat. So that's why I like to split it with Nate, so that we each have half. So it's like half my day's worth of fat grams. But again, like, I don't really like obsess over it. I know what looks like 10% calories. So let's see what else we got here. You inspired me. I've now been raw plant-based for 13 days. That's awesome. My name is Aisha. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm very proud of you. That's great. Oh, thank you guys. You hear me? That's awesome. I think all you need is Dr. Brooke Goldner smoothie recipes and lists 2 big salads and dressings and fruits for snacks, and you're set. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, we really just need, like, I personally believe, fruit in the morning, big giant smoothies, try to get the majority of your calories in before lunch, and then have a big salad for lunch and a big salad for dinner, or make a raw creation like raw burgers. There's 2 raw burger recipes in my new transition guide. There's also, if you buy the bundle, you get Daniel McKinnon's Infinitely Raw Creations ebook, where you can make the raw vegan corn dogs, which are super cool. Raw Chef Yin has raw quesadillas. She's got like a Mexican fiesta and also an Asian course on how, or ebook with videos to make Asian style meals. Oh, it's so good. There's so much good stuff in there. What is your opinion on the doctors on the internet saying how unhealthy kale and vegetables raw are not for, they're claiming meat, organ meats, and beef and all that. So the anti-nutrient thing, I don't even think about that, because I'm not eating the majority of my calories from kale. For example, like when we do kale, it's like once or twice a week, because we eat so many other different things as well. We're not focused highly on like one different green that has high oxalates. And also keep in mind, we have bacteria in our gut that digest oxalates so that they don't bother us. But you need to eat oxalates to grow those guys, because that's their food. So in my microbiome test, I have actually very high levels of this bacteria that digests oxalates. So I'm not worried about oxalates. It's recommended, I would say, to start slow with the oxalate stuff and eat other things as well. Like have a wide range of different kinds of greens to add to your diet, so you're not putting all your apples in one basket, so to speak, and trying to get everything from just kale or everything from just spinach. So that's what I would have to say on that. I don't put much weight into those things because I eat such a wide variety of foods that I don't need to worry about having like just a small amount of higher oxalate foods. They don't bother me at all. I'm not worried about it at all. And I think they're using it as a justification to continue eating whatever else they're eating. So those are my 2 cents on it. And I do talk about oxalates, lectins, and phytates in my transition guide. So there is a section on that, like, are the vegetables bad, which I don't believe anymore at all. I did used to be like, oh, is that a thing? Like way back before I was raw, but I don't believe it anymore. You have so much energy all the time. Is it based on what you eat? I think that has a big thing to do with my energy levels. Definitely, I do a lot. I work a lot. And I just really enjoy life, but I also eat properly so that I can enjoy my life better when I eat this way. And also I focus on getting good quality sleep. Now, I'm not always consistent with it perfectly, but I do strive every night to go to bed early. Like during the bundle weeks, it's really hard for me to go to bed early because I'm doing tech support and customer support as well with Charles, who does tech support for the bundle. But also, like, while I was writing this ebook for you, I had to get it done in time for the bundle, and it's 300 pages. So I was really pouring my heart and soul into it. I was staying up a little bit later every night, but going to bed early, like around 8:30 or 9, that's when I feel even better. Like I already have tons of energy, but I feel like I have even more when I have my sleep on point and when I'm hydrated, and obviously eating the raw food. I've been doing this for 8.5 years, so to me it feels kind of normal to feel like so hyped up. But yeah, what do you think of supplements like AG1? I've never tried, but I keep seeing ads everywhere. Ads are ads. They're going to sell it to you. I personally, the only supplements that we take here, Nate and I, is B12 and vitamin D and occasionally K2. And maybe like barley grass juice powder, but I mean, whatever. We don't really take that every day. We actually don't take our supplements every single day. We take them when we remember them. It's kind of sporadic, but we do try to take those ones. But B12 and D are environmental vitamins. We're supposed to get them from our environment, not our diet. We're supposed to get D from the sun, and we're supposed to get B12 from bacteria in the soil. That bacteria produces B12 and then we can absorb it. But that's where we're supposed to get those. But because we live in cities and we like to sanitize everything, or some people do, we don't like go crazy with the sanitizing stuff. But there are some people who are really concerned about that. So they over sanitize, and this creates an imbalance in the bacteria, which can lead to lower B12 levels. So environmental vitamins, we're okay with taking supplements just to make sure that we're getting enough. And it's not a vegan problem. It's not just vegans who have deficiencies in D and B12. Meat eaters equally can be deficient or low in these vitamins. And it's not because of the food, it's the environment that we live in. Like if you're not going out in the sun and getting vitamin D every day, you're probably going to be low in vitamin D. If you have an office job where you're in the office all day and you don't get exposure to sun, you come home in the dark and then like you rarely ever go outside, you're not going to be producing enough vitamin D, and relying on it from your diet is not the same as getting it straight from the sun. So those are the only supplements that we take. We don't take any other like the fancy ones that are advertised or anything like that. We try to get everything from our food, and we eat a wide variety so that we feel great. I've seen all my plant-based peeps. To you for great dressing recipes. Thank you, Diana. Do you do this as a full-time job? Yes, I do. This is my full-time job. And the reason I'm able to do this is because you guys grab the bundle, which is available. The link is in my bio or in the description. That is how I'm able to do this. And I spend hours, like I've said, with you guys in DMs. Like I get hundreds of messages every day, and I try to reply to each and every single one of them. I want to give you the time, because I didn't have that when I went raw. I would reach out and I didn't get any replies. So I want to be able to reply. If I do miss a message, it's because I didn't get it. Or it went somewhere missing in some kind of platform, or I wasn't able to get to it right away. But I do try my best to respond to absolutely every single person who messages me, because I want to be there for you. And the only way I'm able to do this is by you guys supporting, by grabbing the bundle. But you're not just supporting me, you're supporting yourself, really. It comes down to supporting yourself. You're getting so many recipes and video like information to help you to stay on track and to learn more things. So yeah, I do it as a full-time job. I'm here for you guys. How do you manage the expiry of certain vegetables varying from others in salads, for example? So we shop every like 3 days, give or take. We shop like one big shop every week, and then we do another one like midweek sometimes, just to top up what we might need, like extra lettuce typically is what we will buy. But we also get things in different stages of ripeness. Like when we buy bananas, we get green bananas and yellow bananas, so that when the yellow bananas are ripe and ready, the green bananas are moving over to the ripeness. So we try to learn how to manage the ripeness of stuff, and we keep our greens and some of the vegetables in the fridge to keep those from going bad. But again, it really is not buying too much that you think you're going to eat all this or you want it to last a whole week. Instead, just go shopping twice a week instead and just buy what you need, so then it's more fresh. Because if you buy stuff on Sunday, by Saturday, your lettuce isn't going to be as very appealing, and it's going to be more appealing to order takeout. So instead, maybe go shopping on Wednesday night and top up and get a couple extra heads of lettuce, so that gets you until Sunday. Or go out, like if the grocery store's on the way home from work, maybe stop there 2 or 3 times during the week if you want to do that as well. But you do learn the different expiry. And when we have, like, for example, tomatoes on our counter, we put the ripe ones in the front and the harder ones in the back that still need to ripen. So we know we need to use the front ones first. And then as we go, then new ones that we buy, they go in the back. And then we just kind of have like a rotation of it. But that's how we deal with that. And fruit as well. What about what they say about organ meats? I think we can get everything from plants, personally. That's my opinion. Vitamin K2 is one that they typically say you need to eat organ meats for, but your bacteria, if you have a good bacteria in your colon, a good strong microbiome from eating plants, then you can convert vitamin K1 into K2, which is necessary for bone and teeth formation. But the problem is most of us come from a standard North American diet where it's super low in fiber and our guts are already messed up. And then they go into, say, a vegan diet and they're super restrictive, they're not eating enough variety, or they're eating a lot of junk, and their gut is atrophying, like their gut is struggling. So then all of a sudden they're like, well, I'm not getting this and that and whatever, so I need to eat the meat to get those things. But it's because their gut was not strong enough in the beginning, and they didn't take the time when they were vegan to grow their gut, and it takes months to years to grow a gut. Like, for example, I wasn't breastfed, so I didn't start life out with the proper amount of bacteria in my colon. So I started out with a disadvantage, and I'm not blaming my mom at all for this. I'm actually kind of, in a way happy, because I can prove now that I can do it on a raw diet. I can really increase my microbiome. So I started my raw journey in 2014. That's when I went raw. I didn't have a gut test back then. I really wish that they existed back then so I could know what my gut score was when I started. Oh, I would give anything to have that score, but it's all good. So I was raw for about 7.5 years until I did my first gut test from Ombre Lab. I did my first gut test and my overall score was 83%. So that's like overall, based on all their factors or whatever, overall my gut was 83%, and the average North American is 62% based on the test results that they get, 62%. So I was like, I'm doing pretty good on raw, but what can I do to increase my microbiome? So I think that when I first went raw, my gut was probably in the 30% because I had all kinds of gut issues. I had diarrhea and constipation and gas and bloating and pain and like crazy stuff going on. I had candida overgrowth for 15 years of my life. I was diagnosed with candida overgrowth when I was 19, and it stuck around until I went raw. When I went raw, the reason why I was able to deal with my candida overgrowth was because I built my microbiome by providing my microbiome with fiber variety, loads of vegetables, loads of different kinds of vegetables, and not consuming those other things that don't contribute to healthy gut. So last year, after being raw for 7.5 years, I took my first microbiome test, 83%. I made some changes to my diet. I actually increased my variety even further. And I went into the more bitter stuff. Like we eat radicchio and endive every single day. Ever since that first gut test, we've been eating endive and radicchio every single day pretty much. and sunchokes or Jerusalem artichoke was my top gut microbiome food, as was garlic and onions. So I added more garlic, more onions. I eat sunchokes every day. I eat lots of bitter greens, dandelion, frisee, lettuce, like anything bitter, I'm gonna add it to my salad. And I add other things too, like sometimes we'll have kale or mixed greens or romaine or whatever, but we always try to have those other things that grow the microbiome. So I started adding more variety, more beets, more radishes, more carrots, all grated into the salad. And after a year of doing that, my microbiome score went from 83% to 92.5%. So that was only in the last year. I can only imagine the 7.5 years prior to that, how my gut was changing. So the reason I tell this story is because some people think like, oh, as soon as I go vegan, everything's gonna be awesome. But it's been 8.5 years growing my microbiome, slowly changing. So after 8.5 years, if I'm still improving my gut from here, that really goes to show how long it takes to grow the microbiome and how consistent you need to be with your choices in order to grow it and to improve it. So that's what I say about that. I know that's a long-winded answer. Grace is asking, why did you and Nate move to Vegas? That's a great question. There's lots of reasons. Number one, I would say tied for number one would be the weather and the cheap produce. Those are two of the top reasons. I love the weather here. I really love it hot. I love it when it's like 115 degrees outside. I really love it when it's like that. No, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I like it. Nate does too. We love laying out in the sun, and we also really, really love the desert. I have a deep soul connection with the desert. I love it here. I love the terrain, love all the hikes that we've been going on. We also love it here because it's close to LA, so we can go and grab the cheap produce there. Our friend John Kohler's here. We have other friends, like my friend Angelica is here. And being an immigrant, it's hard because I moved from another country to come here. I grew up in Canada. I lived in Edmonton, Alberta, where winters are like 7 months out of the year and it's like -30 to -40. I was raw up there for the first 5 years of my raw vegan journey. I was able to do it just fine. But moving here has been just heaven, because the food is a lot more affordable. Again, it's a hub. So if we ever do a raw vegan retreat, it's gonna be in Vegas because it's cheap to fly in here. And we can rent an Airbnb here for cheap if we want to run a retreat, which we do talk about, which we would love to have some of you come and hang out with us and make food with us. So that's something, but yeah, Vegas is it's fun too. I love it here. I love the vacation vibe that everyone has. Like when we go walk on the strip, it's like everyone's just like, nah, it's great, we're having a holiday time. Because I've been to some cities where it's like corporate and everyone's like stressed out and whatever. But here it's like a lot more chill. Obviously it's a city, so it's like there's like the city stuff, like whatever. But it's great. I love it, and we really enjoy it. I think we'll probably stay here long term, or at least make this home base. Like we might travel around, but we're always going to have a place here in Vegas. I think this is where we're gonna root down, I think. Let's see what else we got here. Do you grow vegetables and fruit in your garden? We actually live in a high rise. We are 21 floors up in a high rise, downtown Las Vegas, and we don't have a garden, unfortunately. Our friend John has a garden, and we like to go over there and pick some of his food and eat it. He always picks and brings stuff for us when we hang out. But yeah, we don't have a garden, but we do have an office rack where we grow our own microgreens. So we do grow our own food in our little condo thing here. We grow lots of different trays of things like broccoli and radish and kohlrabi and peas and all kinds of microgreens. And Nate actually has his microgreens video course that is available when you buy the bundle. You get access to his video course, which retails at $97. So that's yours when you buy the bundle, and you can learn how to grow your own microgreens. He's actually releasing a new video in the course. So anyone who's purchased already, you'll have access to all the new videos that he adds in the future to the course. So if you want the new videos that he's going to be putting in there, grab the bundle now, because this is the best time to buy it, because you get everything else with the bundle. But he's going to be adding how to grow in recycled containers. So that's going to be a really good one, because you don't have to invest in a big rack with lights and everything. You can grow them in regular, recycled containers. So that's a great video that he's going to add to that. But that's what we grow here. We grow microgreens and we grow sprouts in order to be able to have more variety. Any advice for my friend who has diverticulitis? Ooh, that sucks. It's challenging when fiber is the irritant. I would recommend going slow and checking out someone like Dr. Will Bolsowicz. He's the Gut Health MD, I believe, on Instagram, or Dr. Vanessa Mendez. Dr. Vanessa Mendez has a complete gut health book actually it's 3 books in one that she's contributed to this bundle. So grab the bundle and go through Dr. Vanessa Mendez's gut health book, because she's a gastroenterologist and she's got so much knowledge. She also practices at Planted Forward, which is a plant-based clinic where they deal with a lot of gastroenterology. So if there's any issues there, I would highly recommend them getting into contact with them, or you grabbing the bundle and reading through to get more knowledge about gut health for them. But yeah, that sucks. I know. Any digestive issues is so horrible. Just hearing what's in your salad makes me hungry. Oh, awesome. Yeah, we try to add so much to the salad. When we were in LA over the last weekend, we made these salads for us and John, and we counted there was 33 things in the salad, and John was just so happy because he's all about the variety too. We had like dandelion and radishes. We had, oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. I do have the list on my phone, so if you guys were interested, send me a DM and I'll send you the list of all the things. I have a friend, not me, who has serious food addiction problems. She's tried so many programs. So the thing is with the food, I don't like using the word addiction, because the addiction part of it is because it's an obsession with food because you're not eating enough. That's the problem that most people have, is that they're not eating enough of the foods that fuel and the foods that nourish. When we start eating enough of those foods, the cravings subside because we are actually nourishing our bodies. So the root is actually under eating and under eating variety for the vast majority of people. Otherwise, if it's emotional, then that's when it's time to start talking to a therapist and get into working with somebody who can help with that as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. If you do a retreat, I'll be there. Oh, it would be so cool to do a retreat. That's something that Nate and I have been talking about. We really do want to run a retreat. So we're hoping maybe in 2024. So if you guys want, start saving up for it. I think based on like having to buy all the food, get the Airbnb, arrange transportation and all that stuff for you guys, it would probably be around $3,500 or maybe $4,000, depending on how long we run the retreat for. So that's just ballpark. We don't know. But if we do run one, it might be next year. We're not sure yet. Like 2024 maybe in the late summer. I'm not sure yet. We're just throwing some ideas out there. I don't know. But yeah. I bought the bundle. Content is remarkable. Thank you so much for grabbing the bundle. I hope you enjoy everything that's in there. I hope you get to download my 52 to a New You ebook and read all those 300 pages that I wrote for you guys and enjoy some of the recipes. I got 47 recipes in there, and that's part of the bundle. Lorma is going to get the bundle. Awesome. I hope you enjoy all of the goodies in there. This bundle is over on Sunday, so it's like 2.5 days left, or 2 days. I mean, at the end of this evening, it's only gonna be here for 2 more days. And if you like the bundle the way it is, grab it, because next bundle will be totally different. It's not gonna have the same stuff in it. So definitely, if you like this one, go grab it before it's gone. I got it a few days ago, Miss Mandy Dandy says. I'm so happy. Thank you for the support, and thank you for supporting yourself, because you're going to have so many resources to enjoy. Especially like I said, I'm really excited to follow along for Dr. Shiraz has a 40-day transformation that I just got the email for today's, and I'm really excited to read it or watch it. His alone is worth $500. And the content that I've contributed and Nate has contributed is $297. So just those things alone is worth the bundle. So go grab the bundle. The link is in my bio or in the description box if this is on YouTube, because I'm going to post this on YouTube, you guys. Why, I didn't know you could grow sprouts indoors. Yes, you definitely can grow indoors. And like I said, if you get the bundle, you get Nate's microgreens course, and he teaches you how to do it indoors. We're growing indoors. We have a big giant rack, and we have trays, and we just grow tons and tons of microgreens. We eat a lot of them, and we grow sprouts on our counter. You don't even need any special lights. You just need a jar with a mesh lid and some lentils. Just put sprouting lentils in a jar. We get ours from True Leaf or Perfect Foods Inc. They have lentils as well. Broccoli or mung bean or speckled peas are really good to sprout as well. Soak them overnight. And then after they've been soaking for like 12 hours, then you rinse them and drain out the water. Like you tip it upside down so any water can drain out throughout the day. Do that twice a day for 3 days and you got sprouts. Super easy. It's really easy to grow sprouts, and then just add them to your salad. Once they've got the little tail, you can transfer them to the fridge, and they'll last like 3 or 4 days, or you should eat them by then. So hopefully that you can enjoy more sprouts. I came to Nate's course, so informational and easy to follow. Diana, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy that. How to get off sugar. I think coffee was good. So I am not a fan of coffee. I used to drink like a lot of caffeine and coffees, and I had issues with heart flutters. So I am a zero caffeine person. There is a book called Caffeine Blues. It wasn't in print for a while, and I saw one on Amazon, so I'm gonna snap that one up because I want to read it again. I read it like 15 years ago or something like that, and I was like, no coffee ever. So that's just my opinion. I know there's some people out there that say coffee has antioxidants in it and everything, but I eat so many antioxidants. I don't need antioxidants from coffee. I'm good. I get so many in my other foods. I don't have to worry about that. But how to get off sugar? Eat fruit instead. Eat fruit instead. If you're craving the sugar, typically you're craving fuel of some kind, and you default to what you enjoy or what's habitual. You're going to default to that. But swap it for fruit. Have a couple bananas, have some apples, maybe some nectarines or mangoes or whatever you have. Grapes are really great. Have fruit instead. If you're craving sugar, typically it's because you're craving energy. So you need to fuel your body, honor your hunger, and feed it some real sugar. Some real sugar. Sugar isn't bad when it comes the way nature made it. Well, let's see what else we got. Eating with color and variety. It's amazing. I'm starting right now. You're awesome. If you do a retreat, it would be wonderful to have a few live streams for international people. Woo! I like that idea. Yeah, we could totally run some live streams. You know, another thing that we were thinking of doing is setting up a video camera and filming the classes that we do, because we would basically be doing classes all day long, like teaching in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. So we would probably set up or hire, it depends, like again, I said, we haven't figured all the details out, because we haven't really actually planned it yet, we're just thinking about it. But we would probably either hire somebody or set up a video camera and film all the classes and then sell those separately for a lesser price. Like say if the retreat's $3,500, we might sell those for like $297 or something, so that you would get access to all the videos and be able to watch it all and get all the content without having to fly into Vegas and come here if you're not able to, because we want to be able to provide that for international people as well. So that might be an option. I think that we would probably do that. Is this the same bundle as the last one? No, it's completely different. If you want to see what's in this bundle, go click the link in my bio or in the description on YouTube and find out what is in the bundle, because it is very different from the last one that we were in. Completely different, actually. I've put different things in it, and I've contributed my brand new, fully revised 52 to a New You transition guide, which hasn't been in any of the other bundles. So it's brand new in this one, and it's yours if you grab it before Sunday night, because it's over on Sunday. You only have 2 days left to get it. Do you have desserts or treats? Nate has in one of his ebooks that's not in the bundle, he's got the brownies, but treats honestly is nice cream. Nice cream for us, that's our treat. That's a treat. I don't really like calling it a treat either because it's just food to us, but it's sweet and it's delicious, and we'll have nice cream. Say after dinner, maybe we might have some nice cream, just frozen bananas and berries or whatever, and just have like a little bit if we feel. Is coffee bad for you? I don't like using bad or good or whatever. I know it's part of our vocabulary, but what's better than? I like that, much better. I personally, again, like I said, I don't drink coffee because I consider it a stimulant. I mean, like I eat like whatever someone would consider stimulating foods, like salt, for example. But coffee is in its own right something totally different than just having a little bit of salt in your fermented vegetables. So coffee, the caffeine in the coffee and all the energy drinks that I was drinking was causing heart flutters for me. So I am a zero coffee person. It's not something that I'm gonna drink, but that's just my opinion. Do you ever sprout chickpeas for hummus or anything? I personally don't. We have sprouted chickpeas and we'll add them to a salad, but honestly the hummus, it doesn't taste the same. I'd rather have sprouted sunflower hummus instead of chickpea, because it tastes a little bit more like classic hummus than with the chickpeas. I need a little glass of water because I've been talking for like an hour and a half now. Water, you guys. Water is amazing. Make sure that you hydrate. Bella says, thank you for answering my question. You're very welcome. I am here to help you guys. Again, like I said, send me a DM, send me a message. I am here to help you if you have struggles, if you have challenges or whatever. I'm here to brainstorm and help you. That's what I do for a living. This is my full-time job, is helping you guys, and I do it happily. But in order to do so, that's why we run the bundle events, is to help us to be able to do this ongoing and to help for free in the comments. Like if you guys have any questions or whatever, and you just want a quick powwow or whatever, I'm here to help you and share some information with you in DMs. I'm happy to do that. If you want, I also do coaching, which is 125 USD an hour, but you get 1 hour completely devoted time with me on Zoom. So that's why I do those separate. But if you just have a question or a concern or whatever, just send me a DM. That's what I'm here for. Let's see here. How do you become a part of the next bundle? You can send an email to the support email for the bundle. So at the bottom of the website, there is like support. It's uwlbundle@gmail.com. That's where you can send us an email, be like, I'd love to be possibly included in the next bundle. We do vet the people, so we check through how long you've been vegan, what kind of vegan stuff you have, if you're low fat or oil free or whatever, and then what your contribution is. So there's other people who are organizing the bundle as well, so they need to approve you as well as me. So we do like to check and see who it is, and we don't care what your follower count is. We just want the message to be congruent with everybody's stuff as best as we possibly can. So yeah, send an email. Again, the link for our email, or just our email, is at the bottom of the bundle website. So you can go to the link in my bio or in the description, go scroll all the way down, send us an email with who you are, what you're about, what your content is, and what you would like to make for the next bundle. It's great to always have a brand new product to release in the bundle. So if you do have something, we're happy to include more people in the bundle. The more the merrier. Miss Mandy Dandy says, get the bundle, y'all. Seriously. Thank you. So glad you enjoy it. Lisa is saying, I've lost count of the number of times I have been struggling and watched one of your videos and I'm back on track. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Big hugs to you. Thank you so much for being open to staying on track and taking the time to listen and learn about yourself. That's so important. I'm glad that my videos help you. Jessica, I really appreciate you. You're awesome. Thank you. Oh, thank you, you guys. Is this Nate's full-time job too? Actually, Nate does some other things on the side. He does some sales on the side, but this is a big part of his full-time job as well. So when you buy the bundle from his link. Go to his page, Raw Natty Nate, and go grab the bundle from his link. But yeah, this is his full-time thing too. This is what we do. He also sells microgreens sometimes. But yeah, he's got some other streams coming in. How long have you been raw? So for me, I have been raw now 8.5 years-ish. I went raw in September of 2014. So that's when I became vegan, actually. I knew about raw since 2004, where I was, like learning about stuff. I was working in a natural health food store, and I remember distinctly one day I was working at, it's like a donut shop. For anyone who's in Canada, I worked at Tim Hortons when I was a teenager, late teens. So when I was in my like 19, 20-ish area, I was working full-time at Tim Hortons, and I remember passing the donut bag and the coffee out the window. I was working on the drive-thru. I was like, why am I part of this? Like, I didn't want to be part of sharing this stuff or whatever. So at that time, I was 21 by the time I got a job working at, it's kind of like a Whole Foods, but it was a mom and pop style store. It was called The Big Fresh, and it was in Edmonton. And that's where I worked for probably around, I don't know, I would say 3 years-ish. I worked there, and then I got a job at a health food store. It was the biggest one in the city, Optimum Health, and I loved working there. I worked there for a decade. I was a nutritional consultant, so I worked with consulting people on the floor, selling supplements, that kind of thing. I also was the shipping receiving manager, where I received all of the supplements and I'd split them up between all the stores, entered them into the computer, blah, 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 blah. So I got a lot of exposure to natural health. Like, I've done fasts, I've done the gallbladder flush, I've done liver cleanses and candida cleanses, and I've taken so many supplements in my life because we would get free supplements from companies. They'd just be like, here, take this. I would get free fish oils all the time. For like 10 years, I had free fish oils, and I took those. And everything that I did in that time, in those 10 years, like, I would try raw. I learned about raw when it was like 2004, give or take. And then I was interested in it, and I'd try it. I'd do the high fat version. Then I found David Wolf, and I was doing like the whole high fat thing, and that just wasn't working. And then I would do like raw food, but not vegan. Like, I would eat raw animal products. Like, I did the whole raw animal product thing, the raw eggs, the raw dairy. Like, we had a friend who had like cows, and we'd get raw dairy and like fertilized eggs. Like, we did I did all of that. I did it. And it just was not what I thought it would be. Like, I wasn't feeling like I wanted to feel. And I had cystic acne, and I would have my period like once every 3 to 9 months, and I had joint pain and brain fog, and I dealt with candida since I was 19. So no matter how many detoxes and cleanses and fasts that I did, it just never went away because I wasn't building the foundation of building my gut with plants. So I would always do like the Weston A. Price stuff. I did that, Nourishing Traditions and all that. I did all of that. I did it. And so in 2014, after having like 10 years of dabbling in raw, and then dabbling in Weston Price, and then dabbling in this, I'd do it for like a month or two or whatever, and it just wouldn't feel right to me. So in 2014, I woke up one night in the middle of the night, which was pretty regular to wake up with heart flutters because I was eating junk food at the time. Like, I would go through stages where I'd be like super healthy, what I thought was really healthy, and then I would fall back and I would eat whatever because I would be under eating. I wasn't nourishing my body the way I should have. So then you go through a period of restriction or a fast or a detox or something that I would do, and then I would just binge after. I would eat everything and anything, and then I'd be like, why can't I do this, right? It was like the typical diet culture stuff. So I had dabbled in raw, and in I'd say like 2012, I did a challenge at the gym. I joined a gym and I got a personal trainer and I joined this challenge, and it was for like the best transformation in the city based on all the gyms. So I worked out pretty much every day. I had my rest days, but I worked out so hard, and my trainer was like, I wrote down everything that I ate, and my trainer would go through my journal and she'd check it off and be like, congrats, this was great, blah, blah, blah. And I was eating like 1,200 calories, like crazy. The stuff, like looking back now, I'm like, what was I doing? But I didn't know any better, right? Like I just assumed she knew what she was doing, and I was like taking what my knowledge was from the natural health world, and I was trying to do it, but I just wasn't feeling great. I was sent home twice because I had like hardly any energy. Obviously I wasn't eating enough, and I was eating loads of animal products. I was trying to eat like some raw in there as well. But after that gym time that I had, I was super restrictive for 2 months straight, and I just couldn't do it. After the challenge was over, that was like a period of a year where I ate the worst food ever. I was eating gas station stuff and candy and like Red Bulls and Monsters and coffees, and I'd go without eating. I'd skip breakfast. I'd eat a whole bag of Doritos for breakfast sometimes if I didn't skip breakfast, like bacon and eggs or what. Like I ate like the stuff that I would never touch now. But I did because like I had gone through this period of severe restriction, and then all of a sudden I was like, it was free game. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'll just have this because I'd restricted myself and I deserve it, blah, 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 because I did this thing at the gym. And so I'd eat this thing and I'd be like, I'm going to do it again Monday. I was totally in the like Monday, next day, whatever. And that just never came. And so then I ended up gaining weight until I was almost 200 pounds, at which point I was having those heart flutters. My joints were super inflamed. I was 34, and I was like, why do I feel, I'm only 34. Why do I feel like this? And I like, my face was just covered in acne, inflamed all the time. And then I had anxiety and brain fog and gut dysbiosis, like diarrhea and constipation, you name it. I have a history of gut disease in my family. My mom had colon cancer. My uncle, her brother, had Crohn's disease. He died when he was 27 from complications of the disease, taking too many pharmaceuticals for the pain. And I was like, I don't want to end up with those. If it runs in the family, I need to take care of my digestive tract. My gut microbiome is like so important to me to grow and to maintain and to keep it strong. So one night, long story short, I woke up with these heart flutters. I'd get them like every 2 or 3 nights. I would wake up in the middle of the night with these heart flutters, and it would feel like I was having a heart attack. And it would be like I couldn't be able to breathe. I was like, what's going on? And then I wouldn't be able to get back to sleep because I'd be like, what would it be like to actually die from a heart attack? And then I'd be thinking of like what that would feel like, and I wouldn't be able to get back to sleep. And I'd be like, I have to like meditate. It was like horrible. I hated going to sleep in those days. It was like the worst time. So the next day I woke up and I'm like, that's it, I'm going to go raw again. Obviously, my ex at the time, he rolls his eyes because he's like, how many times have you said that you're going to go raw? And you do it for like 3 days or a week, or the longest I did raw was for 2 months, but I couldn't sustain it because I was eating so low calorie, not eating enough fruits and vegetables. I was eating way too high fat. So I wasn't able to sustain it. But I was like, that's the only thing that resonates with me. That's the only thing that makes sense. So that day I went online and I just started reading my old journals and watching like Fully Raw Christina, the people that really inspired me in the beginning. And this time I was like, okay, I'm going to try the low fat way because I'd never tried the low fat way. I was too scared of going low fat because in the health realm, I was indoctrinated that we needed super high amounts of healthy fats. Healthy fats, and coconut oil is the best one to cook with. And all this stuff, olive oil is amazing. And you need fish oil for your omega-3 and all this. You have to have all the fats. So I would eat all the fats. And I was like, obviously that's not helping because I'm not able to stick to something consistent. So I tried the low fat. And I went into the groups and I was learning from people, and they're like, eat enough, make sure you eat enough. And so I was like, okay, I gotta eat enough. And I started tracking my calories, and I realized that I really wasn't eating enough on raw. Like some days were like 800 calories, and I'm like, that's not a thing. So I started eating more. I was a little scared to eat more in the beginning because I was stuck in diet culture, teaching you that you need to eat less to live long. The thing is, the studies that show to eat less to live long is not eat less. It's eat appropriate. They don't say that in the studies because they call it calorie restriction, but you're not restricting your calories below what you actually need. It's restricting from the overconsumption that most people eat already. So you're restricting from that point, not from the appropriate point. You're eating enough for your body's energy needs, your basic energy needs, which would be your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which I call your bare minimum requirement. You're eating that plus your activity. So if you're sedentary, you multiply it by X amount. I have all this information in my transition guide. If you're interested, that is in the bundle. So download the transition guide. I talk about the amount of calories that's average. I mean, it's just an average. It really depends on other factors too, but it's a good guideline. So if you're moderately active, you have to multiply it by like 1.55. So if your BMR is like 1400, multiply it by 1.55, you get a higher amount, which is over 2000. So I was really scared to eat over 2000 in the beginning because I was taught that you had to eat less. And I was like, well, how am I going to lose weight if I'm eating over 2000? But I didn't care about the weight loss because I wasn't doing this for weight loss. I was doing this to heal myself and to actually care about myself because I wasn't caring about myself and I was gaining weight. Not that weight is like a prerequisite for health, because you can look amazing and still die from a heart attack if you're not dealing with the internal. You can look amazing and have severe gut dysbiosis. So looks are just looks. It doesn't indicate someone's internal health necessarily. So don't put too much weight into how someone looks. It's more like their blood work, their digestion, their microbiome scores, all that kind of stuff is way more important to me than just looks. Obviously, when someone looks good, you're like, what do they look? What do they do? But it's like, not everyone's doing really healthy things to look the way that they do. So you just got to keep that with a grain of salt. But I started eating more and I started feeling satiated and I lost 70 pounds in 14 months. So this transition guide is basically a step-by-step. I did a lot of it overnight, but that's just me. I'm not saying everyone can do it overnight, but it's a step-by-step guide of everything that I can think of to improve your life. Obviously, it's not going to have everything in there, but it's a lot of the things that I personally believe are great to transitioning over to a raw diet. But thanks, guys, for listening to all of that. Miss Mandy Dandy says, sounds like me. So glad I found you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you are here and you're learning and expanding. Miss Mandy Dandy, do you still take supplements? We do like like I said, vitamin B12 and vitamin D3, but like not every day. We'll take them when we remember, like 1-2 times a week or whatever. Like we just kind of randomly take them. We're not too consistent with them. But those are really the only two that we take. Sometimes we'll take a vitamin K2, but it's not really like super something that we really focus on. Lisa says, you are always so inspiring. How do you keep so high vibe when you are often answering so many of the same questions again and again? That's a good question. You know what? Honestly, no question is stupid. And the only like questions that are annoying are the ones that aren't asked. I want to answer the same question again. But that's why I do my YouTube channel. I do my YouTube channel to address questions that I get asked all the time, so that at least there's somewhere that I can send people so that I'm not constantly saying the same thing over and over again. But this is what my passion is. Like, I love talking. Like, I've been on here now almost 2 hours, which I'm going to have to go and eat. But I just love talking about this, and I love helping you guys. So I don't mind. I don't mind answering the same question over and over again. Thanks for sharing your story. Amazing. You're very welcome. I had a great time sharing it. If you guys really enjoy my content, please consider supporting by grabbing the bundle. The link is in my bio, as well as in the description if you're watching on YouTube. You can support me, but it also, more importantly, supports you, because you are going to get thousands of recipes, hundreds of hours worth of video content for you to learn more about a vegan diet and a raw vegan diet. So there's cooked and raw stuff in there. You can make the cooked stuff for your family. You can make the raw stuff for yourself. You can learn more from doctors. We've got over 13 plant-based doctors involved in this bundle, and a lot of this stuff is brand new. A lot of people worked really hard to create videos for you guys to include in this bundle, and I have 6 things in this bundle. I've got my brand new raw vegan transition guide, my Checkmate Your Cravings video course, how to build variety salads and epic dressings, meal plan volume 2, food journalings for success, and Make It Raw, which is an ebook I wrote with Chef AJ, making her cooked vegan recipes raw versions. So there's that, and then you're also getting Nate's microgreens video course. So if you do want to grab all of those goodies, check out the website, go click the link in my bio or in the description on YouTube and see all the goodies that you're getting. Lisa says, I bought the bundle. There's so much I've not even downloaded yet. Yeah, there's over 120 things to download. You have a year to download all of the content. Once you buy the bundle, you have 1 year to download everything. And once you download it, you can access it unlimited. It's just that we can only host the files for 1 year because we can't do it forever. We pay monthly for it. So you have a 1 year to download everything. Once it's on your device, you can open it unlimited. You can use it as much as you want. And I do highly recommend backing up your files. So if you have downloaded everything, put them in Google Drive or Dropbox, or put them on a USB stick. That way you have access to them from other devices, or if something happens to your device where they're on, at least you can access those after as well. So click the link in my bio or in the description box and go head over, check out the bundle before it's gone, because there's only 2 days left to grab this bundle, and then it will never be the same again, because next year will be totally different. And yeah, so thank you guys. I'm gonna sign off now because I feel a little hungry. So we're gonna make a salad, and I'm gonna enjoy some time alone with Nate, and we're gonna watch our show and just hang out. But thank you for spending 2 hours with me. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be back tomorrow with more videos, obviously. Until then, I love you. Mwah. Keep making those compassionate choices, and fruit on.